all. I am Mahadev Agmode, Assistant Professor in English, Pankaj Arts College, Chopra, Maharashtra. Dear participants, we all came from different parts of our country. We speak different languages. We have different regional languages. We speak different languages. Okay, like that. This language is made of sentences. How these sentences are made of the words. Okay, today we are going to study the structure of words, that is called morphology. Okay, I think here one of the student is from biology. That is morphology, the concept is also in biology. Okay, anybody is from biology? Yes, what is morphology then? In biology? Okay, that is biology studies, that is forms of organism. So morphology, today we are going to study the structure of words, how the words are formed. That is called morphology. Morphology is a linguistic concept, or it is a branch of linguistics. Okay, Professor J. Raju has already given you a lecture on linguistics. Linguistic means the scientific study of language. Okay, here this morphology is one of the branch of that linguistic. Okay, today morphology is borrowed the words from Greek, and morph means form of words or structure of words. Here in English, in many other languages, okay, many words can be broken down into parts. Okay, for example, I had given here example unhappiness. Unhappiness is divided into 3 morphemes, unhappy and ness. And you take any example, for example, horses, it is divided into 2 morphemes, horse and s. That is plural, walking, walk and ing. This morphology, un carries a negative meaning. When we use that un to a particular word, that time it un carries a negative meaning. Ness expresses a state or quality. And after that, s sometimes expresses plurality, sometimes it expresses positions, and ing conveys a sense of duration. Okay, if you take any word, good, bad, yes, no, all these are the words are independent words. Okay, these independent words are called free morphemes. Here, what is morpheme? In morphology, there is one part, morpheme. That is smallest unit which has a meaning, independent meaning or grammatical function. That words can be broken down into are known as morphemes. Okay, that word should be a particular meaning. That is a minimal, meaningful unit is called morpheme. So to be clear, in unhappiness, the word un is also a morpheme, happy is also morpheme, and ness is also morpheme. And how? That is, yes is, I already given the example of good, bad, yes, no, like that. There are different types of morphemes in English. Or that is, there are several important distinctions we can make. That is free morphemes and bound morphemes. First we will see what is free morphemes. Free morphemes are morphemes which can stand alone. That is, for example, the word is happy. Happy is a free morpheme. Okay, there is no need to attach any words. That is happy, good, bad, any simple base word. These free morphemes are also called base words or root words or stem words. And as compared to free morphemes, bound morphemes is different. That is totally it is opposite of free morphemes. You can say it bound morphemes never exist alone. Okay, it never stand as words themselves, but are always attached to some other morphemes like un, ness, beautiful in beautiful, ful is there. Okay, impossible, I am is there. Okay, like that these are the bound morphemes. Okay, here you have already studied, I think, prefixes, suffixes and infixes. All of you know about the prefix, suffix and infixes. Every word has at least one morpheme, one free morpheme, and which is referred to as the root or the stem or the base word. Thus we can further going to be divide this bound morphemes into 3 categories. That is prefix, suffix and infix. I think all of you know what is the meaning of prefix. Okay, can you tell me what is the meaning of prefix? Yes. Okay, all prefix, suffix, infix is a general term that is called affix. Okay, you can say. That is here, this is also divided into free morphemes, that is morphemes, that is derivational and inflectional morphemes. Okay, first we have studied free morpheme and after that bound. In bound morphemes we have seen suffixes, prefixes and infixes, right? And after that derivational and inflectional morphemes. What is derivational morphemes? Okay, derivational morphemes create or derive new words by changing the meaning or by changing the class of the words. For example, good is the word. Okay, we change it into goodness, means here good word is in adjective, good word is the adjective, and when we add bound morphemes ness, then it changes the class, that is adjective into noun. Okay, that is called derivational, that is morphemes which changes the word class, also changes the meaning. For example, happy is the word, when we use unhappy. Possible is the word, when we use impossible. Possible meaning gives the different and impossible gives the different meaning. So that it is called derivational morphemes. These suffixes changes both meaning and word class. In English, you can say derivational morphemes can be either prefixes or suffixes. Then after that, the second that is type is inflectional morphemes. These inflectional morphemes don't alter words, the meaning or word class of a word. Instead, they only refine and give extra grammatical information about the words already existing. That is, for example, you take cat, cats, only the s is added. There is walk, walking, the talk, talking, or talk, talked. Okay, like that. This in English, inflectional morphemes are all suffixes. Okay, you have to keep in mind that is inflectional, that is morphemes are only suffixes, not prefixes, right? Here there are 8 inflectional morphemes in English. That is, first we use s in third person singular, that is present, that is third person singular nouns. He, she, it. When we use he, she, it, that time we say he waits. We cannot say he wait. He reads. We cannot say he read. Then it is wrong. So that s is third person singular present, and second is ed, that it tells past tense. That is, he waited, he talked, he walked, like that. And the third is ing is also used, that is, it tells progressive, that is, he is waiting, he is playing, he is singing, or whatever that is. And en, that is past participle, where we have to use I had eaten, I have spoken, like that. And the s, sometimes s is used also for plural, that is, both chairs are broken. We cannot use both chair are broken, okay, like that. And sometimes s is possessive, that is my father's house, okay, my friend's house, like that. Here sometimes er, that is suffix is comparative, it says he was faster, he was smaller, like that. Sometimes est superlative is there, he was the fastest, he was the bravest. Okay, these are the 8 inflectional suffixes, that is morphemes. And after that, after studying suffixes, prefixes, we come to the word formations, how the words are regularly generating, new words are coming, new words are generating. Okay, we come across in our language also, in English also, and many other languages, the new words are generating. Okay, when we read newspapers, when we read books, that time we come across number of new words. We have not yet gone through that, we don't know the meaning of that word. So we started searching in the dictionary, but that words are also not we get. Okay, some words are word formation processes are there. In that, one first word formation is affixation. That is one of the most productive ways to form new words is through affixation. That is, in affixation means I already told you prefix, suffix, and infixes. That is prefixion, where an affix is placed before the base word. Okay, for example, possible is the word, we use I am, that is impossible. Happy is there, we use unhappy. Okay, speak is there, unspeakable. Okay, like that, un is used. Okay, irresponsible, responsible, irresponsible. These are the prefixes. And suffixation, where an affix is placed after the base of the word. Okay, that is slow, slowly. Okay, readable, read is there, readable. Okay, there are so many suffixes in English. Infixation. Okay, I think infixation you have heard first time, maybe. Okay, you have heard prefixation and suffixation. Infixation, where an affix is placed within a stem. But in English, there are very less words are there, but some words are not acceptable. But in other languages, you can find infixes. I have given you absolutely the word is, in absolutely the word, the blooming is mixed here. That is abso, blooming, lutely. That is, it is infixes. But I have given the example from Tagalog, a language of the Philippines. How the Philippines language, that is Tagalog, the infix is used, is used for infinitive forms of verb. For example, sulat is the word. The meaning of sulat is right. When they use infixes, that time sumulat he says, means to write. And after that, billi means buy, bumili, to buy. Okay, like that, kuha, take, kumuha, to take. Okay, like that, such of the infixes are used in Tagalog, a language of the Philippines. But in English, some words are there, mother-in-law, father-in-law, okay, like that, but it is not acceptable. Next, word formation process is compounding. How the compounding? Second word formation is known as compounding, which is forming new words, not from bound affixes, but from one or two independent words. Two independent words we have to take and make one word. That is, I had given black and board, you have made blackboard, one word. Boy, friend, boyfriend. Air and conditioner, air conditioner. Blackbird, looking glass, text and book, textbook, watchmaker. These are the compounding. In Marathi also we can say that is idli sambar, vada pav, pav bhaji. All these are compoundings. Okay, because we have brought two words. The next, third is reduplication. Third word formation is known as reduplication, which is forming new words either by doubling an entire free morpheme or part of morpheme. For example, if you take in English walkie-talkie, seesaw, yes, it is only part of a morpheme, it is partial reduplication is there, and some words have entire free morphemes are there. Okay, many other in our languages also we can use. Okay, some are the reduplication, barobar, partial is there, murmur is the word, murmur, okay, like that. It is a reduplication, walkie-talkie, seesaw, ding dong, ping pong, all these are the partial, that is reduplications. And the next is, in Indonesian, total reduplication is used to form plurals. For example, rumah is for house. They use rumah-rumah, means houses. And ibu is called mother, and ibu, that is mothers. And lalat, fly, lalat flies. Okay, this is reduplication. We also find in our language, in Marathi, darodari, gorogari. Okay, these are the reduplications. Okay, same word is repeated. Sometimes partially it is repeated. And the next and the last is blending. That is a fourth type of word formation. Process is known as blending, where two words merge into each other. Okay, that is, the words, two words are taken and made one word. Breakfast and lunch, it is called brunch. Like that, smoke and fog, that is smog. And other you can say motel. Motel is motor plus hotel. Okay, that is called motel. Affluenza. Okay, affluenza is there. Influence. Okay, like that, we have two words. There are many words that is are daily created. Okay, we have to add two more. We have to merge two more words into one, and we have to make the one word. Okay, in this today we have studied the morphology and the word formation processes. Okay, how the words are created daily and how you can create any word. According to it is depend on you, but you have to give the meaning of that word. Okay, how these words I have found. Okay, like that. Thank you for listening patiently me. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask me.